And we're live. Alright. Today is the 7th season of Horroween. It'll be the 7th and only season of Horroween since I found more stuff to review. This time we're going to be doing some classics. Well, some of them are classics, some of them are remakes. But let's begin with the movie that started it all. Night of the Living Dead by George A. Romero. This is the colorized remake for 1990. I've seen the original black and white film. Both of these films are shot for shot the same. It just has like the one man who plays Candyman in it, but other than that, the first two original actors and the first original actress reprised their roles for this film. And this is the film that started the zombies eating flesh genre. So before in movies, you had movies like White Zombie and a few others that experimented with zombies, but they weren't flesh-eating. They were just undead servants controlled by voodoo magic. So this time we actually get an actual zombie eating human flesh with tons of gore and blood. And you can thank Tom Savini for all the blood and gore in this movie. But what else can I say? It's a remake. Nothing beats the original black and white. It has a much more scary atmosphere. But still, shot for shot, the color 1990 version is pretty decent. If a little off. Next in the Dead series of movies, I have two remakes and one of the originals. Dawn of the Dead. This movie was very interesting, as it starts out with a whole group of survivors having no mention of Night of the Living Dead or any of the other movies that came after it. In fact, a group of two soldiers, a reporter, and all of them manage to escape and survive in a helicopter. They land in a shopping mall. They basically survive. They visit all the stores and basically are just surviving against horde upon hordes of undead zombies. The great thing about this movie is that Night of the Living Dead, not Night of the Living, but Dawn of the Dead, also had a bit of social satire in it, as George A. Romero loved putting a little bit of social satire in his films. But again, Tom Savini comes back, so all the blood and gore effects, including the zombies eating people, are awesome. And this one was a re-release by DiviMax series and Anchor Bay Entertainment. So if you're looking, this is a special edition. If you're looking at, there's multiple versions. There's a European version, there's an American version, and then there's the special edition version. There's no real difference between them. It's just some certain scenes are changed in some of the movies. But overall, for the Dead series, this is an awesome movie. I sadly do not have the original Day of the Dead, but I'm going to find it and I'll review it. But we have the remake of Dawn of the Dead. This was brought to us by none other than Universal and Zack Snyder and James Gunn. Yeah, those two guys. This movie is pretty decent. It's again set in a mall. It also stars Ving Rhames, who stars in another Romero remake. This one gave us more of running zombies rather than the slow shambling Romero zombies, so it's completely different. It basically sets itself up in its own. You kind of call this one its own separate movie, because it's not really in the Romero universe, and it's not really in anything but it's a remake. Still pretty decent. The zombie and gore effects are awesome, and Tom Savini even makes a cameo appearance. Next we have Day of the Dead, since I don't have the original. This is Day of the Dead, The Need to Feed. This is a remake, and sadly it is shit. Kind of hilarious. This feels more like a zombie comedy rather than an actual action movie. You have all the cliches of teenagers and shit. They change Bud the zombie into a soldier, and it doesn't really have anything else. This was directed by Steve Miner and based off of the film. And it's just alright. Then we get 2017. This was done by Millennium Entertainment Millennium Media and Lionsgate. And we got this horrendous sequel, Shout Out, as a reimagining. It's not bold or reimagined. It rips off the original movie, but it's slightly better than Day of the Dead, The Need to Feed, but only slightly. Day of the Dead, Bloodline. And all it says is, fear goes viral in this terrifying retelling of George A. Romero's zombie horror classic. 5 years after an epidemic nearly wiped out the world's population, Dr. Zoe Parker lives in an underground bunker among my scrub group of military personnel and survivalists working on a cure while fighting the armies of the undead. When a dangerous patient from Zoe's past infiltrates the bunker, he might just hold the key to saving humanity or India. And technically, there's a character who's supposed to be like Bud, or Bub, or whichever one you want to call him from the original movie. This one shits on Romero's legacy, and is one of the worst sequels I've ever seen. Hell, he even eats the cake for Hellraiser sequels. But another bad night of this is Night of the Living Dead 3D reanimation. I managed to get not only Jeffrey Combs, but Andrew Divoff from the Wishmaster series. And no, it did not come with the 3D glasses. I basically had to take some 3D glasses from My Bloody Valentine just to watch this movie. And I looked so ridiculous trying to do it. It comes with a 2D and 3D version of the film. And what else can I say? It's a shitty cash grab. Nothing more. Which is even shittier is it's supposed to be a prequel movie before a 2006 movie of the same name. So yeah. Shit. And even it starred, whatever his name is, from The Devil's Rejects and a few other movies. He's in that. Yeah. Sid Haig, that's what it is. Sid Haig's in that movie. It sucks. But moving along to a not sequel of Romero, The Return of the Living Dead. I know I am not going to review any of the other movies, as this is the one and only, and should have been the only sequel ever made. This was given to us by none other than Hemdale Film Corporation, 20th Century Fox. It has Clu Gulager, James Carden, Don Khalifa, Jules Brenner. It was produced by Graham Henderson, executive produced by John Daly and Derek Gibson, and was created by Dan O'Bannon. Yep, that's right, the Dan O'Bannon did this movie. And all the effects, blood, gore, and everything is awesome. But there's a twist. The zombies want to eat brains. Not flesh, brains. Yeah. There's a zombie called Tarman who comes up and literally eats one of the main characters, or side character, Teen's skull open and eats his brain. That is how awesome this movie is. And it even makes itself self-aware by saying the zombies in Night of the Living Dead were actually real and actually happened and were covered by the government. There's a government man who's trying to find them, and then when the one guy finally, the owner of the medical supply store finally calls him and tells him where it's at, they lob a nuclear shell right over into Kentucky. Yeah, they blow up Kentucky with a nuclear M203 nuclear shell. Boom. And it blows up. Awesome movie. And has a really, really, really catchy soundtrack that you can just shake your head to and enjoy it. Coming up on the next list of George A. Romero movies, this one's an actual George A. Romero movie, Diary of the Dead. Now, this is a found footage film. Romero created this as a found footage film, but he couldn't decide if he wanted to do it as found footage or as a regular horror movie, so he shot it in kind of a pseudo found footage film. The movie itself is pretty decent. The effects are awesome as always, but found footage films are just a kind of shit to me. It had a sequel though, with called simply Survival of the Dead, and this is the sequel to this, where we saw the soldiers in the Diary of the Dead. They actually got their own movie. They get caught between the O'Flynn's and the Muldoons, and they're fighting over one group wants to kill the zombies, the other group wants to save the zombies, and so on and so forth. The movie is gory, and this was sadly the last of Romero's movies, because he didn't make any more movies after this. But it's still an entertaining popcorn flick. For anyone who wants to watch a... Yes, I know I did skip over Land of the Dead. I do not have it, but I will say that Land of the Dead is pretty decent. It has Dennis Hopper, and John Leguizamo, and a few other minor actors. It makes it entertaining. The next movie on the list, The Crazies. Now, this is not really a zombie film. This is a remake of another Romero film. In this version, though, this has Timothy Olyphant and Rada Mitchell. And basically, the humans are infected again by a similar thing called Trixie from the original movie. The military goes in and basically quarantines the entire town. The sheriff basically finds AC-130 down in the middle of a swamp full of the Trixie that leaked into the water supply and made all the people go crazy. There's tons of gore. The humans basically act like zombies, but more violent. One of the original female characters, you'll see her riding a bike. She actually returns from the original The Crazies film. All in all, this film is a decent horror film. Obviously, though, like anything, remakes aren't always good. At least they tried. Although I will admit them, Timothy Olyphant and the character who plays his wife escaping a nuclear missile is kind of... Yeah, they'd get cancer by then. But then, just to show the government still following the Trixie infection, it shows them managing to get to the neighboring town, only for the exact same thing to happen. But anyway, this ends the Dawn of the Deadathon. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if I do get my hands on Land of the Dead and the original Day of the Dead, I will review those together and put it on this list for Season 7. Thank you for watching.